Call the meeting in order of the Griggs County Commission, 2:30, January 5th. We'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time we'll take roll call. Mr. Averill.
Here.
Tranby.
Here.
Zorn.
Here.
Edlund.
Here.
And Wakefield is present. Take a look at the agenda. We'll need an approval on that. Any additions or subtractions, although we don't allow many additions, but when you've had time to look at it, we need a motion to
Did
approve.
you say you can't add additions to the agenda?
Excuse me?
Did you say you can't add additions to the agenda?
Well, we've kind of made it a policy that additions to the agenda, if they require research or information, that they're not allowed, because of course that doesn't give the commissioners enough time to do such research or think about what the addition to the agenda would mean. So it all depends on really what the topic is.
I would like to add to the agenda. I make a motion to add to the agenda, meeting dates and times.
In what respect?
To look at changing it.
Oh, well, I can answer that one quickly. Once it's set, it's set by statute. And
Where?
11/11/05. So we'll put that as an agenda item for the following meeting,
Future business.
because that will require some research. As part of that research, keep in mind that the schedule isn't to accommodate the commissioners. It's to accommodate the public. So the reason that it is in the middle of the day and the middle of the week is to allow for the staff to prepare things for the meeting, prior to the meeting, beforehand, and then to evaluate what happened at the meeting and finish up the meeting after the fact. That's why it's at 2:30, so that we're still here at 5. It makes it tough for the staff, but hopefully she's out of here by then. The other thing is, the middle of the day is to accommodate people, guests, or people coming to present information to us. If you have it early in the morning, someone coming from Fargo isn't going to come. Maybe it's information that we need. So the meetings are midday for a reason. They are midweek for a reason. And again, that is to accommodate the taxpayer, not us. It's not for our convenience. So keep that in mind when we talk about it at the next meeting, that the purpose of it is that. And as far as changing it, I don't think, we'll have to have Jamie research that, but I don't think that's possible to change it until next year. We just approved a schedule for this year in the meeting prior to the end of the year. I think the first meeting you were at, maybe?
Yeah, it was our first meeting.
But anyway, we'll have Jamie, you'll research that?
I have some information, but I don't know. I want to verify it. I found a section of code and something in Open Meetings Guide that I don't think it is. We can change it once it's decided on, because people rely on that schedule already since it's been posted.
Okay. Well, we'll put it on the agenda for
this-
next meeting.
Yes, we have we'll discuss next week. I have a valid point, we discussed, well, I'll put it next time, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay.
So do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Averill has made a motion to approve the agenda. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second it.
Second by Tranby. All in favor of the approval of the agenda? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda approved, thank you. So let's look at the December 22nd meeting minutes to start with. And give everybody some time to read through them if they haven't, and any changes that are relevant to what you think that we discussed, or the points we're trying to get across, just what we're trying to convey here.
I'll make a motion.
Hello, Bob.
Oh, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes on 22nd and 29th as presented and dispense with the reading.
Motion by Tranby to approve the minutes and dispense with the reading. Do I have a second to that?
I'll second
I'll
that.
second.
Co-seconded by Tranby and by Zorn and Edlund. All in favor, voice by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes approved. Now if we look at the minutes for the 29th. That
I
was
said,
just,
I said both.
you want both?
I said both.
Okay.
I said both, so.
So I think originally though, we were looking at the meetings for the 23rd, so we'll have to look at the 29th and do that separately, because that was what was called, the agenda was called for the 23rd. So-
I can make me a motion for that one then?
You can.
Make a motion for the 29th of December and dispense with the reading.
I'll second that.
Motion by Tranby, second by Averill, to accept the meeting minutes for the 29th of December and dispense with the reading. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes approved. So, commission board appointments, maybe Samantha can explain that.
So these are just the portfolios that you guys hold as county commissioners, and this is what was as of last year. So if there's any corrections or changes that you'd like to make, you can go ahead and do those. Yeah.
I would like to be on roads. Please.
So, who was on roads? No, Dale was.
Dale
Yeah.
was, yeah.
So just for the new guys, the purpose of you being appointed to one of these positions is to interact with the group of whatever it might be, the road, the social services, whatever, whoever you're involved with, and bring forth any issues that they have that they would like brought before the county commission, and advise them on actions the county commission has taken or will take on their behalf.
Okay, so my question on that is, I'm sure they have meetings. Do we have to attend those meetings? And if so, do we have information on those meetings when they're attended, or do we have to contact them on that?
Some of these do have meetings.
Okay.
It's up to you if you would like to attend those or not. And yeah, you would have to get in contact with them to know what their
And
meetings
you have all that information on that stuff, or who do I contact on that?
of each of the boards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have somebody's contact information
Okay.
for you. Yeah.
So Josh, if you're gonna accept the boards that you've been appointed to here, the water board would really be the only one that has regular meetings.
Okay.
And Dale went through most of those.
Okay.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why it would be an issue. I just, like I said, as long as I can contact whoever need to
Mhm.
attend that kind of stuff, so.
And I'm actually the water board bookkeeper, so I can get you all those meeting dates for
Well,
you.
that just, it speeds things up then.
Should we have somebody on should we have somebody called like the courthouse portfolio board that if there's things going on in the courthouse, like repairs, the allied, the sprinkler system, things like that, that to get ensure it gets on the agenda or to be able to contact somebody on the commissioners, because right now, I mean, there's like nobody, for the contact for the building itself. Does that make sense?
So basically, any repairs or repairs that need to be done, so have a log or somebody in charge of those, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because right now when there's things that need to be done in the building, it goes to nobody. It goes to nobody. Does it get done? Does it not get done? Does it get brought to somebody to bring to the board, or to the commissioner so we can discuss it?
Okay.
Those type of things.
Well, it does, we are that board. The commission is the board in charge of the building and
But
all the
who brings it
structures.
to us? Nobody brings anything to us.
I think- I think what she's asking is like somebody to make a checklist or stuff that needs to be done as maintenance or something like that. Am I understanding that correct? Maintenance that needs to be done, and if it needs to be done, to get it approved and get it taken care of. Or if it's emergency situation, just to somebody to contact and let us know.
Right, who would be the contact person if there's something going on in the building? You just pick a commissioner, any commissioner, it's all pretty willy-nilly,
Or is,
like right now.
Well, we have a maintenance person for the building.
Is that Brian
Yeah.
Pfeiffer?
We have a system in place for this. So any maintenance issues with the building are reported to Brian, and Brian would report, Brian is an employee, so he either report to Samantha or to the commission.
So Sam or Brian would take care of things like, right now, there's, the extension office panic button is missing, and that keeps going off. It's been that way for forever. Who is to contact and to get that fixed?
Well, us. So
Okay, so I just now heard of it today, but it's been going on for a long time, and apparently everybody else in the building knew about it. They don't contact anybody, they don't talk to Brian, they told you, Sam, you knew about it, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, so what have we done to fix that? That's my thing, it's like these things are being just hung in glue, and we just keep resetting the button and not calling anybody to get fixed. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, I guess it would fall upon who's ever resetting the button to probably take it to the next step and get it fixed. We're not everybody's keeper here. If it doesn't concern somebody enough to get it fixed, to tell somebody, then it must not need to be fixed, right? I mean, is it something to complain about? If it's been going on for 3 months, why didn't somebody say we gotta fix this?
Well, I don't know, Sam, what do you think?
I was told that we were gonna just take it off of the plan because it was missing and we couldn't find
Okay,
it,
so
so.
who's we gonna take it off of the plan?
Well, I talked to Travis that we were gonna take it off the plan. If we couldn't find it, he was just gonna take it off the plan.
so basically what the issue is we're waiting on approval from Travis on what he wants to do?
No, he's the IT guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So if we gotta wait on his approval, then maybe we should just see what he says, and if he can take it off, just eliminate it and make sure we know and approve it.
Yeah, but we have somebody to take care of IT, it's Travis. So Travis hasn't brought it to us. We have somebody to take care of the maintenance of the building.
Oh, Travis is supposed to take care of the electro watchman.
He has in the past, yeah.
That's
He's
IT.
taking care of the electro watchman stuff and with all the alarms and stuff like that. Yep, he is.
Okay.
It's hard for things to get done if we're not aware they should be done. And if you've known about it, Steph, then why weren't we notified of it?
I just learned of it today.
Oh, okay. Well, now we know about it, so why don't you contact Travis and ask him to present us with something to remedy that?
think there was a, okay, I'll follow through on this.
So we're looking at the board assignments. Any comments on what, of course, the new members have been assigned what the previous members' assignments were?
Yep.
Keep in mind that because of the open meeting laws, that only 2 commissioners can be on any one board, because if you're present, if 3 commissioners are present, it's classified as a meeting.
Yeah.
Except for the weed board, you guys are all considered a weed board.
We are part of the weed board, but any time with the weed board convenes, it is noticed,
Right,
correct?
yep.
That's correct. So, Scott wants to be on the road.
And I'll keep on social service zone.
Yeah, but in order to do that, you would have to replace somebody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that, yeah, somebody wants to take the weed or housing off and put the road on, right? So,
No, you would keep weed. All of you are
Oh.
weed.
Okay,
Yep, all of you are weed.
So basically, just, you take road away from me and then add it to your schedule, basically what you're saying.
yeah, that worked.
If you guys can work that out, that's,
I'm okay with that.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Rod?
Yeah. The library now, what is that? You just contact them and,
They'll get in contact with you. They've already been in contact with me of who holds the portfolio. So I'll let them know that you're on there and they'll be in contact with you.
okay.
Steph, you're on the fair, the weed, and the EDC, and South Central Human Services.
Yep, I'm good with that.
Okay. So Scott will be social services.
weed and road. That's my understanding, correct?
And what about, in the housing still stays there, John? Or do you take that off and switch it with Jim?
What do you do for that?
Nothing, I know of, to be honest.
I didn't even know there was
I
such a
didn't
That's the
thing.
thing, I don't know either, right?
Well, I mean, I could switch housing with him, and if it's an issue, I'll bring it up to the
Okay.
board, or if we gotta change it, you know, if.
If you discover where it's at, let us know.
Yeah. And that's something, you know, maybe Sam can give me some information on that too, with the information I'm gonna get from her with the water board.
Okay, so you're off the road. And you're into housing, and Scott's out of housing and on the road. Okay, that look fine to everybody?
I'm good.
Got to phrase it a little differently.
I'll make a motion to approve the board appointment as presented.
As amended.
Or amended.
We have a motion by Tranby to approve the board appointments as amended. Do we have a second to that?
I'll second it.
Second by Avriel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Board appointments approved. So if you want to take a look at the bills, the bill resolution will have to be a separate motion, I believe.
There is some, okay, so all of your balances are saying negatives, and that's because the new budget amounts have not been inputted yet. So that's why you're seeing the negative amounts. They will be in very shortly. There is some dues. In the past, we've liked to kind of highlight those because they are quite a bit of them. We do have,
Are they highlighted?
they are not.
Okay.
The North Dakota County Commissioners Association dues for $1,650. You do have NDACO dues for $5,721. You do have NACO dues for $450. Auditors dues for $100.
which one of those have we paid? Which of the dues have we paid in the past?
You usually don't pay the North Dakota County Commissioners Association dues, and you usually don't pay an ACO dues.
Yeah.
And
What is North Dakota ACU dues? What's that one?
NDACO,
Yeah, what's
North Dakota County, or
Associated County Commissions? No.
which one are you asking?
NDACO is North Dakota Association of County Commissioners,
Okay.
right?
Yep,
Well,
that County Commissioners Association, that's the county commissioners
Okay.
dues.
Well-
But the NDACO, that's
Yeah.
the North Dakota, Association of Counties.
Yeah.
okay.
And we utilize them very
Much.
frequently, so,
So the one we have never done is the North Dakota County, the Commission Association, that 1600 one,
Right, and,
Yep.
and the NACO, right?
NACO.
Yep.
We don't do that.
nope.
Yeah.
Any more on here?
I do see that the South Central Dakota Regional dues got in here. I haven't yet received the other 3 cities portions of that, so that one should be taken out and just kind of waited on until I do receive that. Usually I do, but
Is that the one for 5,000?
yep, 5,114. Yep. And
So that
everything.
one is at a certain point in time, the county was paying all of that membership, and what they do is they write grants. Well, the county was paying it, but other entities were benefiting from it, namely the cities. So we decided to ask the cities if they would participate using their budget and funds, and they all said yes, because to my knowledge, the projects, the dollar values were towards the cities. I mean, they were making more use of it, but they couldn't join by themselves. Is that correct, Jamie? Or it would have been another membership? I don't
Yeah, I
remember
think,
correctly.
I think that's what it was. They were joining through us, and I think it would have cost them another
Right.
membership to join.
So anyway, that's a shared expense. So before we pay that every year, we make sure that the cities are still on board with it. So that'll be taken out, Sam?
Yep, and I've already sent it to them. I just haven't received anything from any other cities quite yet, so I can just take that out and wait on it until I receive the other 3 cities.
And where's that at?
That's down at South Central Dakota Regional for 5,114.
What page is that?
And 7. Yep. 5th one from the top, or from the bottom.
Okay. So we'll need a motion to approve the bills, removing the South Central Dakota Regional, removing the NACO for $450. The South Central Dakota Regional was $5,114. And removing the North Dakota County Commission Association for $1,650.
But we do use NACO though, right?
Yes, we're keeping that in place.
Okay,
That was, I mean, as a proposal right now, we're keeping the NAC, no, not the NACO, the NDACO, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
It's the
North Dakota Association of Counties, we don't
Correct.
use the North Dakota County Commission
Commission.
Association.
and you don't use the National Association.
And we don't
of
use the
Counties.
national one, although I think the state still pays our membership there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so what we utilize is the South Central, and that's dependent on the cities partnering with us, so that has to get set aside till we know that. And then the North Dakota Association of Counties we do use, that's where the training and a lot of the different regulation.
Training and some lobbying and
Yeah.
questions for Aaron Burst that he gets asked quite frequently from us.
Okay. So as you think that over, if that's acceptable, we should have a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Tranby to approve the bills with the exclusion of the $450 for NACO. He set aside of the North Dakota Regional Commission for $5,114 temporarily until we decide on the cities participating, and removing the $1,650 for the North Dakota County Commission Association. Do I have a second to that?
I'll second that.
Second by Zorn. And this will be a voice vote. Avriel.
Yes.
Tranby?
Yes.
Yes.
Zorn, yes. Edlund?
Yes.
Wakefield votes yes. Bills approved. Now we have a resolution to pay the bills. Samantha can explain this if you would.
I don't usually use this. I have never used this actually since I've been here, but it's just to kind of safeguard if we don't have a commissioner meeting and I need to pay one of these bills that are listed here. You guys are giving me that authority to do that outside of a commissioner meeting and then just bringing you guys an invoice that says that it was paid. With having 2 meetings a month, it's very rare that I would ever have to use this because you guys do meet periodically, or good times. So we have the opportunity to bring those to you. So, but it's just to kind of safeguard everything.
And it's pretty specific. It's not a broad approval. It outlines what can be paid. And we do this every year?
Yep.
I make a motion to approve the resolution for bills.
Resolution by Edlin to approve the resolution of bills. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Tranby. Well, I guess it is dealing with currency, so we'll do a voice vote on this. Avriel,
Yes.
Tranby,
Yep. Yes.
Yes.
Zorn, yes. Edlund, aye. Wakefield votes aye. Resolution for the bills is approved. If you want to look over the monthly office reports.
I make a motion to accept the monthly office report.
John stepped up from the bathroom, I think.
Steph made a motion to approve.
Yeah, Steph made a motion to approve.
Thank you, Steph. Motion to approve the monthly office reports by Edlund. We'll need a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Avriel. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Office reports are approved. Treasurer Eli maternity leave office help. Madison?
I am back to discuss Connie continuing to help out for the month of January. I spoke with her yesterday and we kind of came up with how many hours we would need her and got a dollar figure because I know this is mainly a budget issue. I'd really like to avoid having to extend my maternity leave because of me coming in and helping in the office. Because I'm allowed those 12 weeks, and if I do come in and work, I am working, so I'm not taking maternity leave, if that makes sense. John and I talked, and there are a couple options for me, but they kind of all just involve me having to extend my maternity leave because of me coming in. So I'm not sure.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's in 12 weeks, it's
like my 12 weeks
Right.
is up February
And
20th.
then yeah.
So if I were to come in and help out or anything like that, I would want to extend that because I'd want to get my full 12 weeks
Right.
that I am allowed.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I mean?
I did a little research after you and I talked, because it is kind of a different situation, although we've had plenty of people have babies when they're working here. And what, Jamie can correct me if I'm wrong, or more than likely am, but you don't necessarily fall under the rules of maternity leave because you are not obligated to be here at all. So you're an elected official, so whether or not you take 12 weeks, 14 weeks, 20 weeks, or 2 weeks is immaterial because you're an elected official. So it falls to the point of, do we have somebody to cover for you when you're not here? And your obligation is not to the county commission. Your obligation is to the people that elected you. So let's just say, for instance, Josh and his wife have a baby, and Josh decides that he wants to be on maternity leave. It isn't the commission's job to hire someone to take Josh's place. Josh is an elected official. He's responsible to the people of Griggs County. He would make arrangements then to have either us, the 4 remaining county commissioners, cover for him, or he would make other arrangements to get that done. Again, he's accountable to the taxpayers, to the people that elected him, not the county commission. We don't have the right to tell you to have to come to work. We don't have the right to tell you to go home. We can't fire you. We can't do anything with you. So it's totally your decision. Now it's within your budget. I understand that the budget issue wasn't addressed because it has never been addressed because people have had babies and it's all worked out. Keeping that in mind, we have people working at the courthouse here that could help you out. And just because someone works for the auditor's office, the treasurer's office, the recorder's office, whatever office it might be, they all work for the same people. They work for the citizens of Griggs County. So your assistant doesn't necessarily have to work for you 3 hours a day every day, nor does she have to work for 3 hours a day for the road and everybody else. We have to pull together here to get this done without causing more harm to the taxpayers, is the way I see it. And harm is them paying more money when they've already paid, they've already authorized and paid for someone to do the job of the treasurer, and they leave it up to you on how many hours you need to work to do that and how long you have to be here. So again, if you want to take 18 weeks, that's between you and the taxpayers. And I think it's between you, just as the elected officials, the county commission would fill in for one of theirs that is not able to be present. I think the rest of the elected officials should, with the help of their deputies, should do the same. That's the way I see it. There isn't budgeted money to do this. We are not given a pile of money and then given discretion to give it out. We put forward a budget outlining how we're going to spend the taxpayers' dollars. Then we present it to the taxpayers. Taxpayers are given the opportunity to dispute any of those dollars we're spending. If they don't dispute them, the budget becomes finalized, but then we as county commissioners are obligated to spend the money in the way that we said it was going to be spent. And we've already allocated money to these different departments. So to go take money out of from one pile and bring it into another pile that we never informed the taxpayers of goes outside what the whole budget process is for in the first place. So I understand your dilemma, but I would hope that the rest of the elected officials would utilize the resources they have in order to get us through what we have to be done here. And again, this isn't a new problem. People have had babies for quite some time, and I assume going forward, and I'm not sure how everybody got through it, but to my knowledge, this is the first time that we've had a problem, and there are some, it's not a problem. I think it just needs to be addressed. I think for the next month or however long you want to be off, I think you should utilize, if you can, your assistant, if that's possible. Maybe she's not trained enough to do that. I don't know.
That was the main issue, was our reports, like you guys know, I said in last meeting too, I went into labor the day she started, so she had 1 day of training, and of course she was doing a little bit of training with Jeff too, so I didn't have her for even a full 7.5 hours, so she had maybe 5 hours of training, and so that's where the issue is, and like she works for the road and for the extension agent office, so I only have her for 12.5 hours, and she doesn't have enough training to be able to take all that on just by herself, where with other offices, of course, it's a little different. They haven't had this issue where they've had 1 day of training. They've had a couple months, or at least have been there for a couple years too. I mean, I don't know, I can't say of when I haven't been here, but.
I would argue about the 1 day of training. She's had from that day with Connie all the way, probably the best training she could have gotten.
Right, yeah.
So she's had 35, 40 days of training, which is as much or more than she was going to receive anyway. So I think the argument that she's not trained kind of was a valid argument the day after it happened, but now at the first of the year she's been trained, or should have been trained. Mm-hmm. And this is just entering code. This is just entering numbers, correct? Is what we're looking at?
Taxing. I mean, of course, there's lots of other things to do, which Connie's been training her on, everything else too.
Right.
So it's not just inputting the tax payments, it's multiple other trainings as well.
And this is an argument for a couple different things that we've been trying to get done for a number of years. It's an argument for combining the offices, certainly, so you have a bigger pool of people to work with when somebody's out sick. It was also brought forward and that we have the deputies all in one pool under the control of the county commissioner or somebody that was going to control them, so that when there wasn't anything going on in this office, the deputy could go over to this office and vice versa. Right now, we have everybody latching onto their deputy and no, she can't go anywhere else because she's my deputy. Well, again, we all work for the same customer. It's the Griggs County taxpayer. And we need to be a little bit more fluid here, and this can get done. You know it can get done. It's just the common knee-jerk reaction is, well, let's just hire more help. Well, yeah, possibly, but remember who you're taking the money from when you're hiring help. They're not giving it to us. We take money away from the taxpayer at the point of a gun.
So your suggestion is for her deputy to work less hours in the other departments to kind of hunt for Maddie's department?
So I'm not suggesting anything because I don't have control, nor do we have control over an elected official. I'm saying that the taxpayers elected the treasurer to do a job. They authorize payment for that job, and they expect, just as they expect of us, to work within those parameters. Again, if this was a hired employee, we don't offer any of these benefits. They get to have, they fall under the state and the federal guidelines for maternity leave, but they're not paid for it. And in fact, they pay for their maternity leave because they have to use their vacation or their sick time to do it. So the elected officials have a different situation because they're not obligated to be here at all. They just need to make sure that the job that they were hired by the taxpayers to do gets done. And I think that there's enough free time within this entity to get Maddie by for another 30 days if everybody pulls together. But that's just my suggestion.
How much would it cost us with?
For those 30 hours?
Yeah, roughly.
$728.70. And that was just kind of more of, she kind of went through each week of, like 1 week had a little more hours because if you look at, I don't know what page it's on your stuff, but the interest collection statistics page, it shows like the tax collections, what percentage we're at right now. We're at 18% of collected, usually we're in the 20s and 30s. So we are behind because of Connie not coming in. Of course, she can't come in every day right now. And then with Erin only having that 12.5 hours. So Connie mainly, her hours were like as catching up, trying to catch up so that Erin can go do her stuff, catch up with Jeff, catch up with the road department, and then she would kind of bust her butt to get these taxes inputted for them. So we are behind in the office, so that's why I'd have to come in quite a bit to get us caught up, and I really just don't wanna have to, but like you said, I mean, I can come back whenever, but I just don't wanna have to keep extending my maternity, because then that looks bad. Even though I have been working and doing that time, if the taxpayers see me come back in the end of March, if that's how long it takes for April, they're gonna say, wow, that's a long maternity leave, and then that's,
But isn't that your decision?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
That will be Samantha's decision, and that will be Josh's decision, and that will be everybody's decision as we move forward here. The reason maternity leave is hardly ever in government is hardly ever paid for is because it's so hard to do. How do you give to one and not everybody? How do you offer services that one set of people can utilize but another set can't? And so the compromise has been that the 12 weeks of maternity leave, but they don't mandate that it be paid for. But keep in mind, these rules, our policy was in place long before any of us got here. It's been this way forever. And that's certainly open to a change in policy come budget time and a change in the budget. I just know how you would budget for it. But it is certainly a budget item, which that's not where we're at right now.
When is your busiest season? December or February when it comes and pays?
I mean, for that week in February, this week, I think it starts the 13th or 14th. That's really the busiest week because people are really getting those tax payments in so that they can get that discount by I think it's the 15th this year. So they
Can we say it's a tax director salary and have her come in as our tax director for the time to help Maddie out?
Is it a tax director?
Well, I'm just saying, we could call whoever we want, we could tap funds from there, I'm sure we could, they've done it before.
No, we haven't. So is it a tax director? So you're advocating that we falsify something in order to do this? I mean, Steph, is it a tax director?
It's usually doing tax things.
tax director duties because that does I have been doing tax director duties, so technically she has been taking tax director calls and doing tax director duties, but
You can't tell me there's not enough free time, 30 hours within this building to get this done. That's and then so what are we going to do with the next pregnancy? What are we going to do with the next one? Where does this end?
Well, what time do you have, Sam, for yours?
My plan is to come in and out and then just extend my leave the amount that I am coming in. That's what I've done with my last pregnancies, so that's kind of my plan.
Are you gonna take the 12 total? You're not sure yet, or not? That's up.
Usually I try to take the 12
Yeah.
total, and then so how many times I come in, then I'll just extend it that much. The last few I've shorted myself a few weeks, but I mean that was my own kind of doing.
The commission has never been involved with this before. That's the way she just showed up, they just showed up, and it was never our concern because it can't be our concern.
As an elected official, the commission can't dictate what
No.
someone takes for vacation time or is around. The issue that we're looking at is budget issue. It's not whether she can and can't go. It's the budget issue of whether to hire someone or not. As far as the commission cannot tell an elected official if they can't tell me I've got to be here 80 hours a week. They can't tell any of us that we have to be here. That's part of being an elected official. The issue that the commission needs to make the determination of is the help and the budget issue, not whether she's taking 12 weeks or if Sam's taking 12 weeks or 18 weeks or she decides to take 16 weeks. That's not the issue. That's not something the commission can control.
And you know, there's some hard choices within your budget. You do have funds but it would, it would involve paying Connie now and laying somebody off later on. There are funds in your budget, but there's not funds to do both. But I still think that the use of the employees we have is a wise way to do it. But that's totally your decision.
And then, I mean, doing that, then I'd have to train people. So then I'm coming back to still using a lot of my time to train someone to help me out. So that really just wouldn't work. But
You know, we've been told over and over and over again, and it's correct, that the commission has no say with the offices of the elected officials, and it is correct. And so if we don't have a say, we don't have a say. And I'll leave it at that. It's just the way it is. Again, if it was one of us, we wouldn't hire someone to come in to take our place. But you do have funds to allocate for labor within your budget. It's just it'll fall short at the end of the year if you do that. So.
Have you looked at your funds in your budget where you could move things around, Patty?
I have not yet, no. But I will do that. Take a look and check it out.
Yeah, do that. You would be borrowing supplies from a neighbor.
Any discussion, any proposals, any
The only
more
question
thoughts?
I have, so let's say, because you were talking about other employees taking up her work. Is there, like, Sam, is there room in your budget, or not your budget, but your time a day, or, you know, there's her mother or anybody else in the offices, do they have room in their time a day to do something like that?
We'd have to sit down and see. Right now, no, because we're in the middle of closing books and closing for the year and doing things like that. But I mean, when we start slowing down,
Because that's the thing, I also don't want to have it where we put more workload on your guys' shoulders and then you guys don't stay caught up on your end either.
But we're talking a short period of time, so let's just use the assistant that we have, because the deputy that we have in place, she's shared between 3 different entities: the road, the county agent, and the treasurer. Now, I would venture to say that at certain times during the year, the county agent probably isn't in need of a secretary. Maybe there could be a trade-off. Maybe when he does need one more than the hours he has during the fair, maybe that there can be a trade-off there. I don't know if Wayne wants to come and sit up here and do your books, but maybe Wayne can sit down there and do a little bit more of his maybe Wayne can do a little bit more of the secretarial work and allow you a few hours there. I think we're talking such few hours and such a short period of time, duration of time, 30, 35, 40 days, that I think it's doable without having to train anybody else or bring anybody else from the outside. Again.
And I wouldn't, like you said, I wouldn't want to put more workload on the other offices, because then, yeah, you're putting more workload on. I'm having to then train them on how to do things. And the tax payments, there's lots of different things where, like, someone could just come pay their exact total. Sometimes some people only pay half right now, and so there's a process to do that. And sometimes people only do this, and then there's a process for that. So it's not just one, like, okay, here's the number, done. Like, it's got a little bit of a process, so it would take a while to train someone, and then, putting more workload on people.
The $700 you said that it was gonna cost.
Yep.
is that to pay her if we have the time, your secretary now?
That would be for Connie coming in for 30 hours total. Even if she wanted to come into February, it's just a total of 30 hours. That's how much it would cost to have Connie.
So my question is, she would have time to come in and cover it if we paid her? But would she find time, like John said, if we were to trade off?
Oh no, Connie is the treasurer
Oh,
that
yeah,
retired. So
she's
she'd be
the
in
treasurer.
addition,
Okay,
but
Yep.
that's my point. I think trading off would be,
Okay,
so let me leave you with something to think about, all the employees, everybody. If we don't have time to come up with 30 hours in the next month, think of the times you've been sitting at your desk with nothing to do, that you were given a bonus by the taxpayers by being paid with nothing to do, and now when it comes time to do a little bit more, then we want to compensate somebody for it. There's obviously times when you have no work at all within all these offices. There's obviously free time here. That has to be balanced against when there's a little bit more work to do. That's the way in every business. And this is fairness to the taxpayers. It's not unfair to the employees or the elected officials. You're not asked to be here overtime or anything else. We're just asked to find 30 hours within this whole entity to get you through until you feel comfortable coming back to work. And again, up to you what you do, and that's the way it should be, and I'll leave it at that. If we don't have any more comments, or we don't have a motion, or we don't have anything else, we can move on. Steph?
I gave my idea of a tax director taking money from that area.
Well, deceiving the public isn't one of the things I got elected for, I know that. All right, barring no more discussion on that subject and no motions being put forward, we'll move on to the DNA mobility contract. Is Travis in the building?
No, not that I know of. Did you want to have him come and talk about that?
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
I didn't ask him to
With
come,
two
I'm
new
sorry.
commissioners. Just explain what a services are.
So,
I'll make a motion to accept the contract.
we have a motion by Edlin to accept the contract. Is there a second? Keeping in mind, a second doesn't obligate you to the final vote. All it does is opens up the floor for discussion.
Then we just discuss it.
Yeah, second by Tranby. Now we go to the discussion. The first order of discussion, I would like to have Travis come to the commission meeting to discuss his contract.
So if Travis took, because understanding this, if Travis took care of the electro watchman button, he'd be charging us $156 an hour.
mm-hmm.
Well, actually, we're, because of his scope of practice here.
How is it compared to last year's?
Well, that's what we want him here for, to ask him about how it does compare to last year, to negotiate the terms.
Is there a way we can problem and have him come to the next meeting then?
Yep, absolutely. I can contact him. Absolutely.
Because that way we can just, if everything's the same and we haven't had any issues with it in the past,
He he messaged me and said that there was an amendment to the IT contract. This reflects the price changes discussed during the budget, and that's this contract that you're looking at right now.
So see if we can move this out to the next meeting and have Travis attend the meeting.
So you wanna make a motion to table it?
Make a motion to table it if you
till
would.
next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Motion to table the DNA mobility contract until,
Do you want to do a roll call on the motion that's already on the table to approve it? Or is that, do we just now,
Or do we
Yeah,
say-
there was a motion made, so.
yeah.
but we're tabling the motion. We're not voting on it, we're tabling it.
just till next meeting, so he can
Correct.
come type of deal.
I don't think you can table a motion. I think you have to vote on the motion.
Can we
Can we vote?
rescind the original motion?
Yeah, Stephanie can rescind the
Rescind.
motion.
Well, we can just vote on it and, you know, if you want to vote, and without getting any information, you can certainly do that, but if you vote on it, it dies, and then we can go to the next step.
Well, can we vote on it to move this to the next meeting?
We gotta.
There's a motion on the table.
Hold on.
I'm going to rescind my motion so we can move on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steph.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Motion by Edlin to rescind her initial motion to pay DNA mobility. Do I have a second to the motion to rescind?
I'll second it.
Second by Tranby, motion rescinded. Now we have a motion on the table to move this, to table this issue until next meeting. I think we had a motion by Tranby to that extent. Do you agree with that?
Yes, yeah.
Motion by Tranby to table the DNA mobility contract discussion until next meeting. We'll need a second.
I'll second.
Second by Avriel. DNA mobility will be moved to the next meeting. We'll have a vote on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. You'll put that on the agenda, Sam?
Yep.
Old courthouse, new courthouse.
I've got nothing other than.
Still standing, I guess.
Okay. Future business.
I'd like to add tax director to the agenda and audit to the agenda for next meeting.
Okay.
And then you put on the.
It was tabled, so we'll go.
Yeah.
And then I got the
Put on
2023
something.
regular meeting schedule,
Okay.
tax director audit, and then the contract.
So, we have a motion to add the tax director and the audit to the next meeting. The motion by Edlin. Would we have a second to that?
I'll second.
Second by Tranby. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. If there's no other business before the board, I would ask that someone
That would be me.
motion to be adjourned by Tranby. A second to that?
I'll second it.
Second by Avery. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned. 3:28. January 5th, next regular meeting, Tuesday, January 19th
Thursday.
at 2:30, Thursday. January 19th at 2:30 in this chambers.